Hi, welcome to Science for Today. This week we have been learning about bees. And so Mrs. Arnold has a bee book to read to you today. And it is literally called Bees by National Geographic Kids. This is one of my favorite, if you haven't noticed, because the last few weeks we've been reading one of these every week. I love these books. And this one has amazing pictures in it, even better than last week's. So let's go ahead and learn some more about these very scary creatures that we don't like to sting us. Let's learn about some bees. Buzz. Outside, the sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, and the bees are buzzing. When some people see bees, they run. Is that any of you? Do any of you run when you see bees? Mrs. Arnold does. Others might not even notice bees. But let's stop and take a closer look. Bees are helpful. Our world needs bees. Helpful bees. Bees help both people and plants. Honeybees make honey and beeswax. People use these things in lots of ways. So beeswax is used to make candles and cleaning supplies. Honey is sweet and delicious. All kinds of bees help plants make seeds. Seeds can grow into new plants. Some of those plants give us fruits and vegetables. We can thank bees for strawberries, apples, almonds, tomatoes, and many other foods. We talked about that a few days ago when we read our other bee book about how important they are to our world. Pollen power. When a bee lands on a flower, the flower's pollen rubs off on the bee. Let me see if I can bring you closer. I don't like that you can't see the pictures as much. Ooh, that's better. Okay. So let's start that over. When a bee lands on a flower, the flower's pollen rubs off on the bee. Pollen sticks to tiny hairs on the bee's body. Do you see that there? So the bee lands on the flower and the pollen sticks to the bee. So this bee has pollen all over its body. When the bee travels to another flower, pollen from the bee brushes off onto the new flower. This is called pollination. Now, the new flower can start to make seeds. A bee's leg has special hairs that form a basket. The bee brushes pollen into the basket. Then it flies back to the nest. This pollen is used as food for baby bees. So this is what an empty pollen basket looks like, and this is what it looks like filled. Only female bees can have these baskets that they have. Bees collect nectar from flowers too. They drink nectar with their tongues. Some bees make honey out of nectar. These bees are called honeybees. Doesn't that make sense? The only bees that can make honey are honeybees. 7 cool facts about bees. Fact number 1. The garden bumblebee has a tongue that is as long as its body. Fact number 2. Humans collected honey from bees as early as 6000 BC. That's a long time ago. Fact number 3. Bees have 4 wings, 2 large wings and 2 small wings. Fact number 4. Bees can see colors. They are most likely to land on flowers that are blue, purple, or yellow. Fact number 5. Farmers often hire beekeepers to bring bees to their fields. The bees pollinate the farmers' crops. Number 6. Honeybees do a dance called the waggle. Scientists think that the dance shows other bees in the hive where the nectar is. And fact number 7. About 1/3 of the food on our planet grows because of bees' pollination. Wow, 1/3 of our food is all because of the bees. That's a lot of food. A bee or not a bee? It's easy to mistake other insects for bees. They often look alike, but there are ways to tell them apart. Take a closer look at a bee and a yellow jacket wasp, which is not a bee. Do you see what's different? So we have a bee over here, and this is a yellow jacket wasp. They are different. So a bee eats nectar and pollen from flowers, has pollen baskets if the bee is female, and has hair all over its body that helps catch pollen. A wasp, this yellow jacket wasp, eats mostly meat, such as other insects. It does not have much hair, and it does not have pollen baskets. A world of bees. About 20,000 kinds of bees live on Earth. All bees are either solitary bees or social bees. A solitary bee makes a nest for its young. The nest is inside a hole in the ground, in wood, in walls, or in plant stems. Solitary bees collect pollen, but they do not make honey or beeswax. Social bees live with many other bees. A group of social bees is called a colony. A colony of bees lives in a hive. Honeybees are one of a kind of social bee. Are one kind of social bee. As many as 50,000 honeybees live in one hive. Can you believe that? Can you imagine living with 50,000 other people in one house? That'd be crazy. That's really crazy. But bees do that, honeybees. Bees care for their young there. They make and store honey in the hive too. So we talked about two different types of bees. We talked about a solitary bee, which is a bee who lives by itself, just with its family, and it does not make honey. And then we talked about social bees, which like to live in a colony with lots of other bees, and they do make honey. Well, honeybees make honey. Home sweet home. Inside the hive, honeybees build with beeswax. The bees mold the wax into six-sided shapes called cells. Look at those cells. What shape is that? A hexagon has 6 sides. Oh my goodness. Lots of cells together make a honeycomb. The bees put nectar from flowers into some of the cells. As the nectar gets thicker, it turns into honey. Bees eat the honey for food. Other cells in the hive hold bee eggs. There is one egg in each cell. The eggs hatch, the young bees grow and change, and after 21 to 24 days, the young bees become adults. So, they start as eggs, then they turn into larvae, and then they turn into bees. These are kind of like larvae. Busy as a bee. Each honeybee in the colony has a special job. These jobs keep the colony healthy and strong. There is only one queen bee. She is bigger than all the other bees. She lays all of the eggs, which is up to 1,500 eggs per day. There are two other kinds of bees in the colony. Drone bees are male bees. Their job is to help the queen make eggs. Worker bees have many jobs. These females feed the queen and care for the young. They build the hive and make honey. On long flying trips, they collect pollen and nectar. They also guard the hive against enemies. Whew, that's a lot of work. Keeping bees. Some humans build honeybee hives out of wooden boxes. Beekeepers take care of the hives and collect the honey. Beekeepers also check the bee colonies to make sure they are healthy. Beekeepers know how important bees are to our world. Be aware. Here are some tips for staying safe around bees. Move slowly. Don't wave your arms or jump around. If a bee thinks it's being attacked, it may sting. If a bee comes near you, stand still or walk slowly away. Do not swat at a bee. Let it fly away on its own. Do not disturb any bee nest or honeybee hive. The bees will defend their home and may sting an attacker. If you are stung by a bee, put ice on the sting. If you leave bees alone, they will probably leave you alone. And that is the end of our book. Well, I hope you learned something new today about bees. And I hope you enjoyed our book and all the great pictures in this book. And I will see you next time. Bye.